Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Previously, we stormed Ashina Castle after hearing the tales of the Interior Ministry having trying to take it, and we ended up fighting both sides because both of them hate us for whatever reason. Damn it, Genichiro. Um, so anyways, we made our way to the top of the tower to find the one and only our foster father, Owl, and took him out because he was there for Kuro, essentially trying to whisk him away, so to speak. And he was trying to use us to do it by essentially having us turn our backs on him, which we denied promptly and took that old man down. So anyways, we are going to press into the castle because we have not done anything since then, and we are going to see where this takes us. After I claim this. And while we're at it, let's open up the doors.
Okami.
ご無事で何より。
フクロウは
切りました。
すまぬ。
クロウ様。
すまぬ。
なすべきことをなしたのです。
狼、ありがとう。
父がこれを持っていました。
これは床桜の枝か。そうか、フクロウが持っていたのか。
はい、これでまた一つ源の甲に近づきました。
ああ、そうだな、狼よ。
Play that a little bit back, like when he starts, when he starts talking to him about what he had to do. I just love the emotion in Kuro's voice there. You can really feel the regret. Of course, he's been feeling the weight of what he is. Even though it's not in his power. He's trying to do anything he can to get rid of it, but.
戻ったか、狼よ。
はい。クロウ様に預かり物がございます。
預かり物？
これを。
Yes, let's not give him the Fountainhead Incense ingredients. Let's give him the rice that we got from the Divine Child. That's the priority here.
これは米か。
はい。先方寺の巫女がクロウ様にと。
そうか、それはありがたい。良き米と見える。実にツヤツヤしておる。
噛むと甘うございます。
噛む？狼よ、米は炊いて食べた方がうまいぞ。
は。
そなた、甘いものは好きか？
何でも食べまする。
ならば嫌いではないのだな。よし、そなたに良いものを作ってやろう。
良いものとは。
それはお楽しみじゃ。
I will eat anything, he says. Man after my own heart.
「待っておったぞ、狼よ。さあ、手を出すがよい。」
は。
Sweet rice ball. Sweet sticky rice ball made by Kuro using rice from the Child of Rejuvenation. Slowly grants medium vitality recovery and constant posture recovery over time, which is essentially the same as the rice that we use from the Divine Child, except it's really souped up. So when they say medium, I don't call that medium. It's like immediately shoots to the top, as far as I'm concerned. Once when the wolf was starving, his father wordlessly handed him a rice ball. It was astoundingly delicious. This one is sure to taste just as good.
これは。
おはぎじゃ。先方寺の巫女殿にいただいたお米でこさえたのだぞ。さあ、遠慮はいらぬ。食うてみよ。
Now, of course, you don't have to eat it, but just so you can see what happens if you do.
うまい。
そうであろう、そうであろう。狼よ、私のおはぎはどうじゃった？
うもうございました。
であろう。幼き頃から菓子を作るのが好きでな。平田のお屋敷でもよく炊事場に入り込んでいたものだ。いずれいとまができたら茶屋でも開くかのう。
I actually really like the idea of that.
これ以上ない出来栄え。やるではないか、クロ。
Talk about marveling at your own work. You know, I've had that happen a few times when I was looking at my students' work, or I thought I was looking at my students' work one time, and I was like talking to them about their bacteria smears, or bacteria plates. Sorry, like their streak plates when they grow their cultures. And I was like, oh wow, this is a really nice one. Who did this? And they're just kind of quiet. They're like, you did it. It was the example plate. And I was like, oh yeah, talk about marveling at your own work. I didn't even know it was mine. So, let's get some people.
狼殿、よくぞ参られました。
Let's get some people drunk. All right. So, first of all, she really hates this stuff. You can just tell.
酒を。
あら、これは猿酒ではありませんか。
何がおかしいのだ。
まずはいただきますね。辛い。そう、お猿。
Can't imagine why she doesn't like it.
私は猿には何かと縁深いのです。
猿と。
はい。何せ私は猿に拾われた子です。信じていませんね。幼き日、戦場跡に一人、私は呆然と立っていました。何も泣くことも怒ることもできず、ただ呆然と。そうしたら猿が握り飯を食っていた。
猿がか。
はい、それはうまそうに恨めしいと思いました。そうしたら今度は猿が握り飯をくれたのです。とてもうまかった。
親切な猿だ。
まことに親切な猿でした。
She's not joking, in a matter of speaking. It looked like the votes were in favor of Emma as far as numbers went, so Ashina sake.
酒を。
あら、せっかくです。いただきましょう。
You see, she's okay with this.
おいしい。くすしをしていると、こうして飲む以外にもお酒を使うことがあります。
清めなどか。
はい。他にも痛みが耐えられぬものに飲ませたりですね。ですがまだ子供の自分はお酒の匂いが苦手でした。
子供の頃からクスシの手伝いを。
はい。死の道元様のお役に立ちたかった。兄弟子たちと競って患者の手当てをしたものです。この時世です。矢傷や刀傷を負った者も多かった。
そうか。どうした？
いいえ、それから時折忍びの者も参りました。一度とても困った患者が。
どう困ったのだ？
なかなかに喋らぬのですよ。 どこが痛いのか、どれほど痛むのか、それがわからぬので並行しました。
そうか。
まるで人事のような物言い。
なんだと？
いいえ、何でもございません。
Okay. Yeah, so.
では、また。
There's two potential people she's talking about, one of them obviously being us. The other one being the monkey she was referring to. If you know, you know.
Onushika. それがお主の心配顔か。じじいはここにいろとエマがうるさい。故にこうしておるだけじゃ。時に赤狼、お主と苦労の不死立ちの戦、椿際のようじゃな。不死立ちの戦を阻む者、切ったか。
切りました。
そうか。迷わずよう切った。
酒を。
おお、赤狼、気が利くのう。おお、猿酒ではないか。火を吹くとはこのことよ。お主、この酒の別の名を知っておるか？
知りません。
知らぬか。こいつはな、修羅酒とも言う。昔、わしは修羅を、いや、修羅のごときものを切ったことがある。
それは一体？
切り続けた者はやがて修羅となる。何のために切っていたか、それすら忘れ、ただ切る喜びのみに心をとらわれるのじゃ。お主の目にも修羅の影があるぞ。そう思っておった。じゃがそれは消えたようじゃ。修羅が出ればわしが切ってやるところじゃった。
Shura is really, really interesting, and I will talk more about it later, but it's essentially a type of demon consumed by hatred that just go on a killing spree, essentially.
行くか、赤狼。ではな。
And you probably noticed this was tacked up on the wall before when we visited him in the past. And we've seen, there's been two people, arguably there might be a third that I'm forgetting, but there's two people in the story that have called us Sekiro. The Tengu of Ashina and Isshin. And Sekiro even kind of reacts to him, to Isshin referring to us as Sekiro, because if you look on the ground here, that's the Tengu costume. So Isshin himself is the Tengu of Ashina, if you haven't picked up on that yet. And one piece of information here that we have heard about already from Isshin, if you check that eavesdrop that we already did, was about the other mortal blade. There's a second. Black Scroll, an old text describing a black mortal blade. In addition to the red mortal blade, there exists one that is black in color. The blade's name is Open Gate, and is said to hold the power to open a gate to the underworld. Recall that the red mortal blade that we have is referred to as Gracious Gift of Tears. So it's what we need to get the tears from the Divine Dragon, which is a part of how we sever immortality. This is a little different. So Open Gate is the true name of it. It is through this power that it creates life. I beseech you, make offerings for the dragon's blood. It's kind of one of those long thought things in the story that might lead to DLC, but unfortunately has not transpired. And I'm assuming will not. Okay, so.
シャキッとせねば。狼よ、私の方も調べが進んだぞ。きっとこれが最後に必要な香の材料だろう。
それは
流因の巫女の血、つまり私の血だ。
九郎様の血ですが、それは流れぬはず。
ああ、流因の巫女とはそうしたものだ。だが源一郎殿の居室でタケル様の故障の手記を見つけてな。何か血を流す術があるようなのじゃ。ひとまずこれをそなたに渡しておこう。
Page's diary, an old diary entry written by Takeru's page. Lord Takeru held his arm over the incense burner and attempted to cut it with a sword, but incredibly his wound healed instantly, and not a drop of blood was shed. Lady Tomoe said, without it, your blood cannot be spilled. What could she be referring to, I wonder? Not the giant sword on my back, obviously.
さて、我が血を流す術、いかに調べたものか。
エマ殿に聞くのはどうでしょう。
うん。クスシならば人の体に明るいか。確かにそなたの言う通りかもしれぬな。
お主に尋ねたいことがある。
はい。何でしょうか。
巫女様の血を流す術だ。
何故それを求めるのですか。
宣教に竜の涙を手に入れ不死立ちを果たす。そのためには巫女様の血がいるのだ。
そうですか。確かに流因の巫女の血は尋常の方法では流れません。ですがあなたはそれをなす術をお持ちです。
不思議りか。
はい、こちらを。
Immortal Severance Scrap, part of the Book of Immortal Severance, left behind by Takeru. With the blade in hand, my blood may be shed. With my blood, the aroma will be complete. The divine realm will be in reach. Immortal Severance will be at hand. I must ask Tomoe to assist with the beheading.
タケル様が記されたものか。
はい、不思議りならば流因の巫女の身に傷を負わせ血を流すことも叶うでしょう。
わかった。これで不死立ちがまた一つ進む。巫女様にもお伝えしよう。
はい。
Yeah, let's just ignore that little bit about beheading.
巫女様、源の香の花手に入れました。
おお、やはり落ち谷に咲いていたか。
はい、落ち谷の奥に。
そこが源の水の流れが濃い場所だったということか。よく手に入れてくれた、狼よ。
I love that name. Okamio. Which is actually a title name at the end, so yo.
巫女様、香の材料を手に入れました。
おお、それが源の香の石か。妙な形をしておるな。
やはり祀られておりました。
そうか。タケル様の記されていた通りだったな。
はい、その石のあった祭壇にかぐわしく腰入れ立て祀る、そう書かれておりました。
腰入れ。それはどのようなところじゃ。
岩戸の奥の洞窟です。
そのようなところから腰に乗り、どこへ嫁に行くというのか。まあ、考えても拉致が開かぬな。
かぐわしく。九郎様、あの場は戦況の入り口なのやもしれませぬ。
そうか。かぐわしくとは源の好機をまとうこと。それを指しておるのやもしれぬな。
And that's referring to the palanquin in the wedding cave. The place after we fought the corrupted monk's apparition.
狼、エマ殿に話は聞けたか？
はい。
どうじゃった？何か分かったか？
不思議りならば叶うと。
そうか。不思議りならば私の血を流すことが叶うのだな。
はい。
これで香の材料は全てであろう。狼よ、香を炊くとしよう。
御意。
Before we do that, I just want to quick see in case this changes.
あと少しだ。なすべきことをなすまでだ。
He knows. You know what he's referring to.
巫女様。
狼、不思議りよ。案ずるな。深くは切らぬ。不思議りを抜いてくれぬか。
はい。
すまぬが目を閉じてくれ。
は。
もう良いぞ、狼。
大事ありませぬか？
大丈夫。胸のあたりを少し切っただけだ。これが源の好機か。何やら無性に懐かしい。
はい。
どうじゃ、何か変わったことはあるか？
匂いと、それから源の宮、その言葉が頭から離れませぬ。
源の宮。タケル様が書き残されていた通り、そこから宣教に通じているのだろうな。その源の宮への生き方だが、
かぐわしく腰入れ奉る。香りの石が置かれた祭壇にそう書かれていました。
そなたは源の好機をまとっている。岩戸の奥の腰に入れば源の宮への道が開けるだろう。不死立ちは間近。頼むぞ、狼よ。
御意。
狼よ、宣教に向かい竜の涙を取ってきてくれ。
はい。
まずはそなたが香りの石を手にしたという岩戸の奥に行くのだ。そなたは源の好機をまとっている。岩戸の奥の腰に入れば源の宮への道が開けるだろう。
御意。
Okay. Emma's gone. And upstairs. I believe Emma moves because of the dialogue we just got from eavesdropping. And look, we got another one.
あやつは強いな。私も核ありたい。
You're strong in your own ways, little dude. Before we talk to Emma, I want to give the sculptor his sake.
誠の狼ならば己の牙の使い道は己で決める。そうした顔になったようじゃな。
Yeah, so that's the code. He's referring to us defined. Oh well, we're gonna do the drink, but I want my flame vent. So that's the kind of the OP version of the flame vent prior to the apparition variety, which I've never actually used before. So I look forward to messing with these at some point. So Okinaga's flame vent, a barrel containing smoldering resin, and that's the resin we got from the from Mibu Village, that acts as an explosive catalyst. Cost spirit emblems to use: emit a short range flame blast, continuous fire damage will inflict the burn status. It is able to maintain a continuous stream of flames due to the smoldering resin inside of the tube mechanism. Okay, hold for the blast. Hold flowing flames. I don't know if I've ever used the continuous spray either. We should try that. I want to get to the malcontent, so we'll work on this. Mountain echo, a finger whistle that can create an echo effect. Its sound will grab an enemy's attention and draw them to the whistle's location. By locking on the target, only the target enemy will hear the whistle. Nice. Kind of like a dog whistle in a way, except, species to species, so to speak. Taking a deep breath before performing the whistle allows for the sound to be delayed. Okay, so finger whistle and hold for mountain echo. That's kind of nice. Let's get this. Okay, this is actually one I probably should have done earlier, and I do apologize for this, but Phoenix's Lilac, or I've heard that pronounced Lilac before, I think. Lilac umbrella. This is actually useful against apparitions. So a loaded umbrella emblazoned with a purplish-blue phoenix. When spread open, it will protect against attacks from all directions. Hold it out while moving to protect from light attacks. The blessing of the phoenix, fill the umbrella, preventing damage from apparition-type enemies. So I don't know how effective this would be, but I'm pretty sure this can completely stop the blast attacks from the Shichiman warriors, and I don't know how it works against the headless because I've never tried it, but this is the big one I want. And you'll see on the left of the items, it's the ring, Kingfisher's ring, the sculptor's former partner. That's going to give us, that's going to make this thing a little bit OP, so it's really nice to have. And that's the kind of souped up version of the finger whistle. Really want that before we get to a certain point in the story, so near the end. So we'll kind of make that our next port of call, but I'll wait till I have a little bit more money. I don't see any reason to pop coin purses because I'm not planning to use it immediately. Otherwise, it's your choice what you want to use, but this is the route I choose. So, how about some sake?
酒を持ってきた。もらうとしよう。口に合わぬか。いや、うまい。じゃが傷がうずくのよ。その左腕か。この酒を好きなお方に切り落とされたのじゃ。それは一心様よ。何故一心様が。切ってくださったのじゃ。飲
飲まれかけたわしのためにな。
何に飲まれかけたのだ？
修羅。まあ信じるか信じないかはお前さん次第じゃが、せいぜい気をつけな。修羅の影にな。ではな、また久しくらいなら貸してやろう。
That's been thrown out a lot in this one episode. Yes, but also in the past. Okay, no eavesdrop. I'm not dropping no eaves. So, let's talk to Emma.
なすべきことをなさねば。巫女様がそうおっしゃっていた。おそらく何かを秘められている。
そうですか。
どうした？
タケル様の記録に解釈という言葉がありました。
Yeah, I saw that.
おそらく解釈とは流因の巫女の命とともにその不死を断ち切ること。
なんだと？
このまま不死立ちの道を歩まれるならば不思議りで九郎様を。
巫女様のお命を絶たねばならぬ。
はい、不死立ちこそが九郎様の望み。それは承知しています。ですが狼殿、九郎様を殺さぬ道がないものでしょうか。
流因は常ならぬ力、そのような道もあるやもしれぬ。
ならば狼殿、九郎様を殺さぬ道、それを共に探ってはいただけませぬか。
So this is going to press us partly towards alternative endings that we could get because, you know, beheading Kuro is not high on my list of, you know, wants in this case. I agree.
巫女様は死なせぬ。
ありがとうございます。
手がかりを探らねばな。
はい、そうか、巴殿の狼殿、私に一つ心当たりがあります。調べを進め、分かったことがあればお伝えしましょう。
ああ。
それからこのこと、
巫女様には伏せておく。
はい。
I kind of wonder what Kuro would think. You can tell he knows. I mean, if you heard that conversation with him when he said, I'll do what needs to be done, or I must do what needs to be done, something like that.
どこで道を分かってしまったのだろう、源一郎殿。
狼殿、九郎様を殺さぬ道、その手がかりをつかみました。これを。
Tomoe's note. A note written in Tomoe's soft handwriting. Lord Takeru's coughs are worsening still. Returning to the divine realm is hopeless. Returning. Not going there, returning. And I wish only to sever the dragon's heritage and restore his humanity. Remember, I mentioned that Tomoe and Takeru were they were of the Okami, the Kiddo Okami, the divergent group of the Sunken Valley clan. So they've been there before. That's where they were from, essentially. Restoration requires the Everblossom Immortal Blade, and yet I cannot acquire the latter. It was hidden by the High Priest of Senpou Temple, who has no desire to sever the immortal ties. There's our other side to the story. Senpou Temple. We need to go back there.
人帰り。
はい、ここには書かれています。流飲を断ち、人に返す道があると。そのためには床桜の花がいるようです。以前お伝えした通り、床桜とはタケル様が宣教より持ってこられた桜です。ですが、何者かが枝を倒り、花を持ち去り、床桜はやがて枯れ果てました。床桜の木そのものが失われてしまったのです。
木そのものがない。当然に床桜の花もないか。
はい。ですが、持ち去られた枝には花がついていた。それが見つかれば、あるいは
床桜の枝とはこれか。父が持っていたのだ。
フクロウ殿がですが、花はもうないようですね。
どうした？
いえ、床桜があった頃のことを思い出そうとしているのですが、どうも記憶がおぼろげなのです。お二人のお墓を。
何？
床桜の後にあるタケル様と巴殿のお墓を参ってみようと思います。何か思い出せるかもしれません。
And we've already been to Takeru and Tomoe's graves in the past. If you recall the old grave, the idol at the old grave. Okay, finally got through all of them, I guess. That's where their graves are, and where the tree once was. Now, where the Everblossom was, I imagine this might have been it. So, remember I mentioned the two graves. I'm assuming the bigger one is... I don't know. I'm not sure in Japan if they... I didn't even know they had graves, to be honest. But I don't know if they make bigger graves based on status or the size of the person. Because I would assume the smaller one was Takeru, because I believe Takeru was younger. But if it's a status thing, it would be reversed, I believe.
何故そのような道しか。
おい。
狼殿、いらしていたのですね。
何か思い出せたか？
いいえ、あいにく何も。
何もか。
はい。思い出せずすみません。私の古い友ならば、その頃のこと、何か覚えているかもしれません。あれ寺で症状と会ってきます。
症状。
仏師殿の古い名です。
I've already mentioned this because Hanbei was talking about him, but when she was referring to the monkey earlier, she was referring to the sculptor. So, Emma's history is very similar to ours, except she obviously was not raised as a shinobi the way we were. She was raised as a doctor, practitioner of medicine. I'm assuming I've tapped out of dialogue with him. I think one of the rice balls was meant for the Divine Child of Rejuvenation, so we're going to go to Senpou after this.
狼殿、いらしたのですね。
武士殿からは何か聞けたか？
いいえ、これといって人帰りについて何か別の手がかりを探さねばなりません。
いずれかが死なねばならぬ。それはどういうことだ？
聞いていたのですか？
教えてくれ。
私は見たのです。あの日、床桜の木の下で巴殿が自尽されようとしたのを。
なぜ自尽など？
巴殿はこう言っていました。流因の血を受けた不死はその主を縛ると。
人帰りのためには流因の血を受けた者が死なねばならぬか？
はい、その通りです。
だが人帰りもならなかった。
はい、不思議りがなかったためでしょう。私は九郎様を、そしてあなたも失いたくはない。どの道も行き止まりなのです。
The fact that she's showing compassion for us, I think, says a lot about her. Because a lot of people probably just look at us as a killer.
何を隠している？
それも聞いてしまったのですね。
教えてくれ。なすべきことをなす。巫女様と同じようにそうしたいのだ。
これを。
And that's why she's hesitant to say anything, because she knows the two of them will go to no end. Kuro will go for immortal severance and sacrifice his life just to get rid of it. Wolf will do the same thing, but for the sake of Kuro living. Father's bell charm, a bell charm previously owned by the owl, and I think this is why she went upstairs. The owl held this bell for a long time. Offering it at the Dilapidated Temple may result in seeing a different memory than before. So, hinting, nodding at Hirata Estate. There's no way of knowing why this protective bell exists. Perhaps the owl kept it for himself, or perhaps he meant to give it to someone.
これは鈴か？
きっとフクロウ殿の亡骸からこぼれ落ちたものでしょう。フクロウ殿とあなたは縁が深い。それを備えればまた異なる記憶が見られるやもしれません。
備えてみよう。
どういった記憶かは分かりません。ですが それはフクロウ殿が持っていたもの。どうかお気をつけて。狼殿、ではまた。
武士殿。
いや、何か言おうかい。
Interesting.
わしが惚れるのは鬼仏だけじゃ。木の中に見える仏様がいつだって怒ってらっしゃる。見えたまま掘るよりないじゃろうって。
He's already commented on the fact that Isshin took his arm. So if you've been kind of reading between the lines on this one, he's, the shinobi are not like Isshin. They kill a lot, the same as him, but Isshin performs. I can't think of one of the skills he performs. Kind of reinstates himself as a person. Because it even says reinstates his core and prevents him from becoming something like a Shura. And he said that, they've seen it in the Sculptor, they've seen it in us, or they said they thought they did. So like I said, I will talk about Shura more, but they're pointing everything at Wolf and the Sculptor.
ではな、また久しくらいならかしてやろう。
Okay, one more time.
フクロウ殿が持っていた鈴、あなたにどのようなものを見せるかはわかりません。どうかお気をつけて。クロウ様はずっと流因の巫女であることに縛られておいででした。そこから解き放たれ、ただ人として生きていただきたい、それを願うばかりです。
I would agree.
狼殿、ではまた。
Yeah, so we have two paths then so far. That's Immortal Severance, where we sacrifice Kuro's life, Purification, where we sacrifice our own in favor of him. Now, we do need to talk to the Divine Child, so Rejuvenation. I should add to that.
Miko にお米を渡していただけましたか？
あ、もらった米を巫女様がおはぎにしてくださった。
まあ、流因の巫女がご自身でそのようなことを。
とても張り切っておられた。そしてとてもうまかった。
それは良かったです。ああ、そうか。流因の巫女もまた人なのですね。なんとは当たり前のことか。不死立ちもきっと故に迷い、それでも選ばれたのでしょうね。巫女の忍びよ、一つ聞きたいのですが。
なんだ？
巫女様の名はなんと？
クロウ様だ。
クロウ様、とても良い響き。
Someone's
いつ
crushing.
かお会いしたいものです。
Come on, she clearly has a thing for him already.
巫女の忍びよ、ようこそおいでくださいました。
Okay. We're good on rice.
カキだ。食え。
はい、いただきます。やはり柿です。これほど美味しいものはない。
そうか。
さようなら、巫女の忍びよ。あなたの行く末に 豊かな実りのあらんことを。
And she is gone.
"私はあの方たちを失いたくない。けれど流飲をお返しする道、それを選べば皆と別れることになるかもしれません。そう言ってくれるのですね。いいえ、皆。あのお方は本当にお優しいのですよ。これを渡してくださったのも。
おい。
巫女の忍びいらしていたのですね。おかげで友たちと深く語らうことができました。
オチの巫女たちか。
はい。それであなたにお伝えしたいことがあります。流飲を断つのではなく、あるべき場所にお返しする道について。
流飲を返す。
そうです。流飲は故郷を放たれ、この日の元に流れ着いたもの。あるべきではない場所にあるべきではないものがある。故に我らのような歪んだ命を生み出そうとする者が絶えぬのでしょう。流飲や流飲に連なる我らはきっと帰るべきなのです。西へ、神なる竜の故郷へと。ただいかにしてたどり着くか、それがまだ分かりません。
定かなことを知る者は
先方商人ならば、あるいは
それは誰だ。
この先方寺の開祖です。弱いは果たしていかほどか。体内くぐりのうちにこもっています。巫女の忍びよ。
なんだ
これは不死立ちとはまた異なる道。故に無理にとは申しません。もし流飲を返す道を望まれるならば、先方商人よりその術を聞き出していただけぬでしょうか。
考えておこう。
So if you look at her, her hair, you'll see the streaks underneath. So recall that I said Kuro has this, we have this, and so does she, which is the mark of the dragon, essentially. So, I don't think we need to talk to her again, but I'll double check.
巫女の忍びよ。もし流飲を返す道を望まれるならば、先方商人よりその術を聞き出していただけぬでしょうか。あのお方は体内くぐりのうちにこもっています。
Yeah, he's kind of dead. We've already found him. So if you come to Senpou Temple before defeating Genichiro, you can actually meet the priest. In fact, he's not far from where we are right now if you do meet him. He would essentially be here at the bell to the Halls of Illusion, But if you defeat Genichiro, he's already dead by then. And we've already found his body. I think I even pointed him out. But we want to go to the caves through here. Oop. Overjumped. And here he is. Holy Chapter, Dragon's Return. Sacred Passage on a Path to Enlightenment. Undying, I pray for the dragon's return. Undying, lo, let us wait and age, for the divine air to assimilate the cold dragon tears, for the cradle to consume the pair of serpentine fruits. Let the cradle endure, giving him shelter, granting his return to the west. So some of those phrasings probably sound familiar because we've actually already acquired the majority of what we need to go down this path. So one thing I thought I'd point out here, I don't know if it'll work. I've never tried it. Apparently you can bestow your blade with poison from these guys. Just gotta figure out how to make it work. I don't know how to backstab a gecko. Well, apparently that doesn't do it. I wanna play with this a little bit when we get a chance. I don't know how that works though. I can't remember how to. I think. Oh, you know what it is? I think you have to do a drop assassination on them. So we should try that at some point. And there's actually white geckos at a certain point in the story. I don't know exactly what status effect that does for them, but... Should we test the blade? Oh, crap. Oh, there's two of them. Okay. Can we do this to all of them? How have I missed you? Oh, that's nice too. The more you explore. I mentioned trying this before and we never actually did it. It does let you sever immortality, but... Is there another one? No, those are probably spinny flippy dudes. Or the Senpou monks. Which one is the sensitive one? You're the varsity one. Any others? That should make them dead, if I'm not mistaken. That's a cheap shot game. They shouldn't be able to get back up after that. That's cool that you can do it, though.
Mikoの忍びよ。もしや、先方上人と会ってきていただけたのですか？
死んでいた。
先方上人は虫つき。
Good question.
何故そのようなことが。
だが書が残っていた。これを
拝見します。なるほど。蛇垣というものを2つ食らえば流因の巫女を治めるゆりかごとなれる。そうすれば流因を故郷にお返しすることができる。私がそのゆりかご、私がなりましょう。
お主、鹿と呼んだのだな。
もちろんです。私は越智の巫女のただ一人の生き残り。生中には死にませぬ。巫女の忍びよ、流因を返す道を望まれるならば2つの蛇垣をお持ちください。
心当たりはあるのか？
おそらくは大蛇より取れる肝かと。柿のように赤く染まっていると言います。
Yeah, they may have a vague passing resemblance to persimmons, but that they are not. What they're referring to is the fresh serpent viscera. So the live heart we got, the fresh heart we got from the live serpent, and then the dried one, protected by the second serpent.
巫女の忍びよ、2つの蛇垣を手に入れられたのですか？
ああ、手に入れた。
この赤き様、確かに柿とはよく申したものですね。
Ain't gonna taste like that,
誠
though.
に食らうのか？
もちろんです。そうすれば我が体は流因をお返しするためのゆりかごとなりましょう。ただあなたの前でそれをするのははばかられます。時を置いてまたおいでください。
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I imagine they'd be rather toxic to a normal person. Based on those sounds, at least.
Mikoの忍び、そこにいらっしゃるのですか？
お主、目が。
やはりいらしてくださったのですね。巫女の忍びよ、 私はゆりかごとなれたようです。手を取っていただけますか？
ああ、これは
ひんやりと氷室のようでございましょう。だからほら、私の涙もこぼれ落ちる間に凍てついてしまう。この氷涙をお授けしましょう。
Frozen tears. Tears that were shed by the divine child of rejuvenation once she became the cradle. They are but frozen drops. By having Kuro drink both the dragon tears and frozen tears, the cradling ritual can be performed. Cold dragon tears are just that.
氷涙か、もしや。
はい、おそらくは冷たい竜の涙が指すのは、竜の涙とともにこの氷涙を飲んでいただくことかと。さすればきっとクロウ様にゆりかごに宿っていただくことが叶うでしょう。巫女の忍びよ、私にできることならばお任せください。
なんだ。
お手を。
ああ、
白金の豊穣を。
これは冷たい。
凍えたこの体がお米を冷たく輝かせるのでしょう。
まるでささめ雪だ。
確かに。ではそう呼びましょう。巫女の忍びよ、ささめ雪をどうぞ。
Fine snow, chilled, silvery rice that spilled from the palms of the child of rejuvenation. Gradually recovers vitality for a time, slightly more so than regular rice. The cold sweetens the rice. Rice is indeed precious. The flavor grows richer and richer, raising one's spirits higher than ever. So kind of a stage between regular rice and the sweet sticky rice balls.
いただこ
う。お米は大事。きっとまたいただきにいらしてください。
And so that's going to permanently replace the rice for this playthrough. If we use the snow, we can come back and get more.
牡蠣だ。
はあ。
食え。
はい、いただきます。
So she's blind because of us, so that's the least we can do, right? Like literally the least.
どうした？
いいえ、ただ甘くて幸せなのです。巫女の忍びよ、きっとまたいらしてください。
Okay. So we had the presented option of Immortal Severance, Purification, and now we have Dragon's Return. So 3 different options as to how we could tackle the ending. Before we close out, because I think this is a good spot too, let's take a look at some skills. Alright, so we're going to continue with the Ashina tree. I'm going to get Flowing Water, which will just leave us with Breath of Nature, Light. So Flowing Water acquires the latent skill Flowing Water, reduces the amount of damage to posture when attacked by an enemy with a sword. Much like the Flowing Waters known by the Ashina clan, strength should not be met with more force, but instead redirected like the flowing of water. Kind of poetic in the way they do these. So we'll do Breath of Nature to seal this tree off, and then I think what we'll do is start working on the Spirit Emblem bits from Shinobi Arts and Prosthetic Arts. Because I think, what are we at Spirit Emblem-wise? 16 out of 16. I think we can get that up to 20, I want to say. So yeah. Alright, so there are a couple of points of story I wanted to go over. The first was the Sculptor and Emma, so to speak, because we've gotten a little bit of information about them over the course of the story, and especially a bit more here from the sake. So the sculptor's nickname is Orangutan. We've already talked about that in the past, because all the shinobi go by animal names, essentially. And when she was referring to the monkey, she was referring to him. So he took Emma from a battlefield, very similarly to how Owl took Wolf, or Sekiro here. So offering her a rice ball and kind of taking her in. And I do know that Emma is trained with a blade for a couple reasons, but it's been pointed out in the story because Sekiro kind of called her out on it. And I think it was during one of the sake binges we went on with her, because she had said that if a demon were to appear, she would cut it down. And they keep alluding to Shura with Sekiro and the Sculptor. So whether she's referring to him or us, we don't really know, I guess, unless you kind of read some context into it. But so I think the Sculptor, in a way, can kind of empathize with the situation we were put in, because Owl took us in and trained us as a shinobi. The Sculptor took her in and did not do this. In fact, Emma was adopted by her mentor, Dogen. And so she became essentially a medic. She trained in medicine. And so Dogen adopted her at a point where Ashina was becoming dangerous, which prevented her from becoming a shinobi like Sekiro. And whereas Sekiro was raised as a shinobi right from the get-go, and eventually went on to become indebted to the Sculptor after losing his arm to Genichiro. So things always come for full circle with these types of stories. So there's that. The other aspect I wanted to mention was kind of what we've been learning about as far as how we can approach the story. So Immortal Severance has been our goal for quite some time now. Once we were able to rescue Kuro from Genichiro, we started learning about Immortal Severance, and we learned the story of Tomoe and Takeru, who were seeking out this process. And essentially, we've now learned that there are three kind of conclusions and some of what becomes of two of those. So we've learned about the Immortal Severance, which is going to require us to behead Kuro if we want to follow that path. So Kuro is going to die if we do this. We also have learned of Purification because of Tomoe and Takeru. So they were seeking out, well, at least I think Tomoe. I don't think Takeru was necessarily seeking out. I think Tomoe was seeking out Purification before us, which would essentially lead to the death of the retainer, Tomoe herself, or in our case, Sekiro, instead of the Lord. So Takeru in her case, Kuro in ours. So meanwhile, we have just learned that the High Priest of Senpou Temple was seeking out something entirely different. The dragon's return. So he's been trying to, because we know that the dragon's heritage is not from, or that the dragon essentially is not from Japan. So this divine dragon, Sakura dragon, whatever you want to call it, is not meant to be in these lands. And it's probably why it spreads corruption in a way, or potentially a reason that it spreads corruption. So the dragon's heritage was set free from its homeland, which is said to be in the west, and drifted to Japan, where it's gone on to corrupt anyone that encounters it or hears about it in some cases. And so the dragon itself, we don't necessarily know where it came from. A lot of discussion has been brought up on this over the years, and a lot of people assume, myself included, that China was the West, because direct geography would say that to some extent. But it's also been pointed out that the West, once we learn a little bit more about the Divine Dragon, we have not seen it yet, but once you see it, it actually fits quite a bit of lore from Korean culture. So there's some that actually believe it could be from Korea rather than China. So anyways, the dragon's return requires something they each require something a little different. Immortal Severance requires the Mortal Blade and the tears of the Sakura dragon. They all require the tears after a fashion. So we need to get that, and that's our goal. That's what why we're trying to get to the Divine Realm. But the Purification ending requires the Ever Blossom, which is long since died, and that's why we got that bell to see if it will trigger a different memory with Owl, because we know he's the one that took it. So something similar to what we did with Hirata Estate, where we went back 3 years essentially. And then we actually have what we need if we want to. We turn the divine child into the cradle. What that exactly means, I guess, we don't necessarily know, but that's so that we don't have to necessarily kill either of ourselves in the process. Or is that what it means? Because to me, this is it's very different. But essentially, the goal here is different. So if we give Kuro the the dragon's tears plus the cold tears, that's going to change how we can go about this. And the idea is to return the dragon again back to the west where it belonged, which of course we don't know where that is. So anyways, that's kind of the other point that I wanted to talk over, because it's a big point of discussion, and that's going to kind of shape how things move forward for us. And that is a good place to end this episode. To recap, we have spent a whole lot of time here talking to people, picking up on story, and again, I know that's not always exciting for some people, especially since this does progress us towards trophies, because it's going to give us ending trophies down the road. But I know some people don't like dialogue, think it's boring. But sorry, I like dialogue. This is partly a story walkthrough, so either deal with it or move on. I don't know. not to be rude on it, but that is literally what I do. So, so we've kind of closed off a lot of open story stuff that we could do from here on. But once we go to the Divine Realm, I would like to stay in the Divine Realm, and plus we have a whole other thing to deal with now, which is the Father's Bell Charm. So kind of two avenues that we can look at moving forward, which will eventually take us to our endings. Next time, we will probably follow up with the Bell Charm, and then depending on timeline-wise how that works, we might progress towards the Divine Realm as well, because now we know how to get there. But with that being said, let us close things out for the night. Thank you all for joining, and I will see you all later.